Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Flanagan, and in this presentation, my partner Ariel Griffin and I would like to discuss the accessibility of clean water for minority populations in the United States. In regard to water disparities, nearly one-third of adults are inadequately hydrated, with African Americans and Latinos being at a higher risk than white individuals. Black and African American children are 3 times more likely to have elevated blood lead levels than children of other ethnicities and races. Additionally, rural American Indian and Alaska Native communities have the lowest rates of access to indoor plumbing nationally. Living in rural areas exposes many minorities and low-income individuals to water that is contaminated with lead and other harmful substances. So why is this a problem? While the United States declares access to safe, clean drinking water as a human right, even after the passage of the Clean Water Act of 1972 and the Safe Drinking Water Act of 1974, communities of color continue to suffer. The prevalence of unsafe drinking water has made many minorities distrustful of public water, which resulted in a heavy reliance on drinking out of plastic water bottles and places an unequal cost burden on minorities. When it comes to limited hydration, some of the issues that may arise include negative cognitive functioning, mood, and well-being. In order to explain the environmental injustice in the context of accessible water in the United States, researchers have developed a model known as the Drinking Water Disparities Framework. According to this framework, there are 3 environments that drive disparities in access to safe water. The first is the natural environment that includes ecological characteristics such as soil type and climate. The second is the built environment, which includes places where people live, work, and recreate. And lastly, there is a socio-political environment, which includes the community and government policies. All 3 environments come together to contribute to disparities in communities of color nationwide.
Hi, my name is Ariel Griffin, and I'll be going over some examples that would fall under the Drinking Water Disparities Framework. First, we have the water crisis in Flint, Michigan. 52% of Flint's residents are Black or African American, and 42% live in poverty. In 2014, the governor of Flint appointed new financial managers who, in an effort to save money, decided to switch the city's water supply from the Detroit water system to the heavily polluted Flint River. Residents suddenly had discolored, sewage-smelling water and began contracting unexplained illnesses. The corrosive water from the Flint River caused lead to leak from city pipes, which tripled the proportion of children with high lead levels in their blood and became a major public health crisis. Another example is the contaminated drinking water in the San Joaquin Valley of California. This region has the highest rates of poverty and minority populations, particularly Latinos. The San Joaquin Valley is also home to intensive irrigated agriculture, which has created 2 of the most contaminated aquifers with the highest nitrogen levels in the country. Because nearly 95% of the valley's residents rely on groundwater for drinking, they are greatly at risk. This image shows the areas with the average concentrations of nitrogen-contaminated water in the region, all of which have the greatest impact on Latinos. So what solutions have been proposed and what other solutions can be made? Currently, tap water suppliers nationwide are cleaning up municipal water and providing education through community campaigns and events. The city of Louisville, Kentucky has created Louisville Pure Tap to promote a more appealing and safe image for their residents. Similarly, San Francisco has installed filtered water bottle filling stations in areas around the city where safe drinking water is not accessible. For some areas like the Crow Reservation in Montana, federal grants have been given to replace sewage and wastewater lines as well as install new water lines to the local schools. For the future, we believe that the federal government needs to invest more in water justice. Federal funding should be provided to communities of color in order to repair public infrastructure and remove lead piping, which will result in safer and cleaner tap water. State governments should also look into establishing percentage of income billing so that water and utilities bills are more affordable for lower income households. We would like to end this presentation with some thought-provoking questions to see how you would tackle this public health issue. How would you adapt legislation and its enforcement to prevent water crises like the one mentioned in the presentation? How do you think the lessons we've learned here in the U.S. could be used to help those in developing countries to provide water to their citizens? Here are resources. Thank you.